Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Higurashi. We just finished Chapter 2, and we're going to be starting Chapter 3. That is the sub-chapter of Watanagashi, which is really weird how they call, like, each section of Higurashi a chapter, and then they also call the chapters within a chapter. I feel like they should have called them, like, parts, or sections, or arcs, or something. It's like, we're on Chapter 2 we're going into Chapter 2, Chapter 3, which is kind of a weird name. I didn't like it when Homestuck did it, and I certainly don't really appreciate it when these guys do it, because it's very confusing. But let's enjoy it. I'm up for some more shenanigans. I could definitely use it after the day I've had, so let's dive in. Alright, listen up, everybody. If you don't take cooking seriously, someone's going to get hurt. No, what happens if you aren't paying 100% attention to your cooking is usually things get burned. Now, it might hurt to eat overcooked food, really overcooked food, or burned, you know. But honestly, it's not that bad. Like today. This is part of your education as well, so don't fool around and do it seriously. I've never done cooking in school. A lazy yeah wafted through the class in response. Half the school day today was going to be home ec class. It is the 80s. I guess in the 80s, home ec was, like, mandatory. The plan was for everyone to make curry rice and give it to the forest rangers who let this building be rented out as a school. Everyone's learning how to make curry? Damn. That sounds great. Not something bland either, like actual curry. That would be so good. If everyone was making curry in the same pot, it would have been more of a party-like atmosphere, but this was school after all. Excluding the youngest students, each of us would be making our own curry with the results being judged. Hey man, like, making curry is better than making something that's super boring in class, alright. At least people can enjoy curry. It's better than, like, a woodworking class where where, like, everything you make, you're kind of like, okay, I'm gonna throw this in the garbage when I'm done. You know? The curry may not be amazing, but you can enjoy the curry, and it's like, it's basically like I don't know if you have to pay for your own materials, but it might be a school-subsidized lunch. That'd be cool. Like, you're gonna make your own curry, but on the other hand, you get free curry. Alright, it might be that nowadays curry is an easy meal anyone can make, but it has its roots in traditional Indian cuisine. Even though we've altered it a bit in the Japanese style, it's still instilled with the knowledge and culture of ancient India. Absolutely do not neglect that fact. I'll have words with anyone who doesn't take this seriously, so be prepared for that. Who the heck is teaching this? It seemed like a needlessly passionate sermon on curry. Well, whatever. I actually agree, they seem a little bit overly passionate about their curry. I'm not saying that it's bad to like curry, but it's delicious, but they seem very impassioned about teaching at a school in the middle of nowhere. It's rumored that Chie-sensei devoted her life to curry. She'll probably be a pretty strict judge. As long as you're not failing, your grade in home ec doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter at all. You still want those A's, baby. I wouldn't say that if I were you. The teacher's a tyrant when it comes to curry. Need to impress? Alright. The heck does that mean, a curry tyrant? The curry tyrant. Dun dun dun. Never heard of that before. You see, our normally mild-mannered teacher, for some unfathomable reason, is a stickler for curry. Unyieldingly so. Yeah, it said every year she goes on a journey to India to research mythical curry. This is just a rumor, but it seems she eats curry rice 3 meals a day, and she occasionally has something else. It's always going to be curry flavored, though. That's not unyielding, that's unnatural. That's an obsession. Is she part of an evil cult or something? No, but these 3 might be. Besides, doesn't curry top the list when it comes to junk food? What? Who the fuck puts curry at the top of the list of junk food? I don't even think curry hits top 10 on the list of junk food. It's not even top 10 for restaurant chains when it comes to junk food. Like, are you serious? Like, you could just say, like, I don't know, like, Sonic, In-N-Out, Five Guys, McDonald's, Wendy's, like, Taco Bell? We haven't even, we're hitting restaurant chains. We haven't even hit, unless you want like specific food, like, okay, I'm pretty sure like Twinkies gotta be on top of there. Actually, when were Twinkies invented? That's not fair. Like, anything that's like processed candy, like super heavily processed junk food, it's so easy to top curry. Curry's like curry, meat, and rice. There might even be vegetables in it, like, that's, like, it's a curry sauce, meat, probably some kind of meat in there, and rice. I don't even think that's even like an unhealthy food. I'd probably rate that as pretty healthy. Oh well. Curry 3 times a day is just weird nutritionally speaking, and I mean, I'll give you that. Like 3 times a day, probably not the best, but at least you're getting rice. Depending on your curry components, it might be your rice, meat, vegetables. So you're getting like most of your basics down. Probably have some fruit alongside it, and you'll be good, right? Dun dun dun. Embedded into the table right by my fingertips, a chef's knife, ladle, and spatula hummed gently as they quivered. The teacher, while still mixing her own pot, was looking this way, smiling. Kei-chan, shh. If you say any more, you'll be sleeping with the fishes. Fish curry? Haven't had that one before. Saying even a little bit more would make my situation a lot more dire. Yeah. Just be serious and make your curry properly and everything's good, I don't think it's gonna be that easy today. Look, Mi-chan's. It's written all over her face. If the playing field is even and we're being judged, there's no way this won't turn into a competition. It looks like we're all on the same page. It's a cooking contest! I knew it. There's no way Mion would leave such an enticing event alone. Club president, how do we determine the victor? But how the teacher judges it? As if saying, but wait, there's more, the teacher reappeared with the principal in tow. The purpose of today's event is to show appreciation for the people of Forestry Service, so they'll be judging the results with me. Yep, your teacher and I, as well as 5 people from the Forestry Service, will be judging your cooking. Good luck to everyone. Even the principal? Looking around, it seemed the interest of everyone in the class had been piqued. So that's what's happening. This isn't gonna just be some casual curry cook-off. Ryan is good at making curry. I'm not gonna lose today. My grade is cooking in a group, so I'm together with Rika. That's unfair. I'm pretty sure Rika's good at cooking. My curry is so tasty, it'll send shivers down your spine. What about Mion? She doesn't seem like she's too good at cooking. Her type's always been bad at this kind of thing. But Mion continued to look unconcerned. Heh. I'll tell you what Kei-chan's thinking right now. Mion's definitely bad at cooking. Am I right? I don't like the way she said that. Are we in danger? I think we might be in danger. It couldn't be. Mion couldn't possibly. At that moment, the teacher's whistle sounded. Alright, everybody, you ready? Be very careful with the knives. We'll just give small children knives and tell them to cook some curry. Seems easy. Start! The call to arms had sounded. Good luck, Kay. We had to use an outdoor kit to cook the rice, but it wasn't that difficult for a camping veteran like me. Put the rice in the canister, push her palm to the bottom, and fill with water just above the wrist. That's a lot of water. That's a lot of water for curry. How much curry are they fucking making? Measuring to above your wrist. That's a lot of water, right? Like, am I wrong? That's a lot more than like what? That's a lot more than like the first joint on your finger. Alright. Are you alright with only that much water? You don't put in more, it could be bad. You filthy liar. If I put in any more, I'll be left with some half-cooked porridge. Satoko, if that's meant to be a trick, it won't work. I'm used to cooking rice with these utensils. First it starts to bubble, then the steam starts to puff. Don't take off the lid, no matter what. Kenshi, you're amazing. It's a little unexpected. Did you learn this at summer camp? My dad likes to go camping, you see. So maybe his dad does landscapes? Whenever summer comes around, our family goes a lot. So this means everyone's good at cooking the rice. In other words, the critical part of this challenge will be the curry. I mean, if someone was bad at cooking rice, that would be pretty embarrassing. Like, you're Japanese in the 80s. Like, it's not like you're gonna go like buy your rice it's not like you're gonna go buy cheap stuff from a restaurant. This is like the 80s, come on. So, they're just cooking the rice. I mean, they meet the basic standards. They could add flavor to the rice. It could be elevated. That's right, but it's curry. Like, curry is a pretty overwhelming flavor. Like, curry spice is pretty overwhelming in terms of smell and flavor. So I think it's fairly reasonable to not flavor your rice that much. Because, like, the curry is gonna just, like, they're gonna smell the curry and the curry sauce more than anything. Curry is Rika's specialty. Oh, curry mule. You lost me at Rika's. Why don't you help with the cooking too? Maybe Satoko's helping the most by doing nothing at all. Satoko's useless. Oof. Oof, she's helping the most. She's helping the most by doing nothing. The rice can complement. The rice could complement the curry flavor. But typically typically when you order curry, you get white rice. You just get like plain rice. Hence justify the meats. I just have to win. That was a pretty malicious comment for Reina. If it's true though, she might just suck at cooking. And Satoko took it hook, line, and sinker. Reina could only apologize between fits of laughter while Satoko chased her around. Well now, should we move on to the curry? For now, the battle truly begins. After rinsing off the carrots, potatoes, and other standard vegetables. Okay, they're including carrots, potatoes, and other vegetables. I grasped the knife. What will today's curry taste like? As Reina hummed along, her very well-practiced hands wielded her knife. Okay, so here's where you add your secret ingredients, right? This is where you add your secret ingredients or get your next ingredient going. I've seen Shokugeki. You don't simply start with a basic curry, right? You gotta do something crazy. Come on. The rhythmical sound of the knife hitting the cutting board harkened to kind images of days long past. Simply put, it was perfect. It was so calm in practice, I seriously don't stand a chance. I looked over at Satoko and Rika. Satoko was in charge of washing the vegetables, while Rika was in charge of peeling them. That's what I heard being discussed, but Rika-chan's knife skills are something else as well. She was happily rotating the potato and peeling it quite quickly. On top of that, the peels spanned the entire potato. What was that called again? Katsuramuki? I heard that peeling a vegetable in one loop around like that is a highly regarded technique. She's doing like a single section peel? Is she gonna throw that out? Is she gonna throw that out then? She picked up the peel from the sink and carved a pair of eyes into it with her knife. It's a snake! Rah! Saying that, she placed the longly peeled potato skin on top of the head of a boy from her group. She wasn't even breaking a sweat. When it comes to Rika and cooking, I couldn't hold a candle to her. But roar? Do snakes make that sound? Isn't it a it's a hiss or a sound. Right, how's Mion doing? She's definitely just fumbling, right? There's no way she peels a potato so effortlessly like that. I'm sorry, she lives in like a small town, village. Come on, there's not that much to do. Absolutely no way. It can't be. You gotta be kidding me. She's using special effects? Where's the wire? She's definitely using a wire. Wait, is she or the pot levitating? Take a look. As if she'd already won, she proudly showed me the elongated potato skin. You didn't know, Keiichi? Me was taught to cook by her grandma. Not just cooking. From sewing, to flower arrangement, to playing the koto, from marksmanship to radio operation, even helicopter piloting is but one of the many myriad things she could do. How does Mion know so much? Her grandma taught her to fly a helicopter? What? Strangely enough, the latter items were more realistic. It was the first few items on the list that seemed like a lie. She's actually really good at cooking. It's just such a hassle. She never does it though. Damn it. How is she good without practice? I'm also really good at cooking, especially Chinese food. Keiichi, boiling something and pouring it into a bowl doesn't count as cooking. All right. I think she just like murdered all the Chinese people watching this. She just said Chinese food equates to boiling something and pouring it into a bowl. I mean, that's a murder if I ever saw one. Damn. All right. Shot down before I could even say it. Too bad for you. Today, Keiichi-san shall be assuredly languishing in defeat all alone. Tough words from someone who can't even cook by herself. Satoko, you're literally not even cooking. Rika, save me. There. I'll destroy Keiichi for you. This food does not look good. This does not look good. Everyone's smirking at me. Don't raise the white flag yet, Keiichi Maimara. Don't throw away this match. I assume there's like some equivalent of TV dinners or something that was being sold in Japan at the time, because that doesn't make too much sense to me. But it is a great insult. It's like that's like the 1980s equivalent of saying throwing something in the microwave does not make you a great cook. Not about how to peel these potatoes well, but about how to win this challenge. There's too many people watching. I'm gonna work at another sink. Saying only that, I gathered the vegetables and left the spot behind. Okay, she'd be alright. I'm worried he might cut himself with his knife. That's nice. That's nice. It's coming from someone who's planning on murdering me. Let's see what Kei-chan's doing. No matter how hard I try peeling these. If I slip up at this speed, I'll lop my fingers right off. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Jesus. And there's only one thing left to do. Tomita. Okamura-kun. Is he gonna go for the sabotage play? Is he gonna try and sabotage hers by like adding a ton of salt or something? You know, that's not an unrealistic idea, right? Like, if you can't compete at the cooking parts, the rules of their competition include anything, right? Anything goes? Oh, you guys were in a group before, huh? It was the two underclassmen that had become my sworn brothers ever since the event at that toy store last Sunday. They'd been paired with two girls for their group. The girls are pretty good at cooking, though. So both of us can just mess around and we'll be fine. Both of them pointed at the girls. They're not as good as Reina, but they were both good enough at handling a knife. I'll get straight to the point. At this rate, I'm going to lose this contest. Give me the vegetables your group peeled already. My Bara-san, that's pretty much theft. But depending on what's in it for us... In other words, it depends on the terms of the negotiation. Very bold. Well, that's to be expected. Let's do this. If I win, I'll let you eat the curry that Satoko and Rika-chan's group makes. How about that? I don't know about that. Both of them were hesitant after such a weighty proposal. Just one more little push seems in order. Very well, let's make them an offer they can't refuse. I pulled both of them close by the shoulders and made my offer in hushed tone. Hushed. Of course, that includes the part that Satoko and Rika have already eaten some of. Ooh. I'll even throw in the spoons. Splooge. A red mist spouted vigorously from the noses of the two underclassmen. Keiichi-san's also pretty good at this. Those are some very nice potatoes. Having brilliantly cleared the vegetables peeling challenge, I returned to my comrades in triumph. Amazing, amazing. Keiichi's peeling's really good. That's not quite right. What Kei-chan bared isn't a potato, but his fangs. Yeah. I'm super serious about this. I'll crush you all. Having finished with preparing the vegetables, next is to boil a pot of water, and then to add vegetables in order of which takes the longest to cook. I learned this from my mother when we went camping. But just cooking in order, it probably won't garner a lot of points. Look at Reina, she had a variety of vegetables cooking together in a delicate balance. She wasn't ambitious or calculating a way to win the game. She was making delicious food with a mother's touch. I have a feeling I could somehow compete with Mion in terms of technique, but I'd be no match for Reina. She's way out of my league. When my mother makes curry, you see, she always uses lots of ingredients. That's why Reina's curry uses a lot of ingredients as well. I really wanted to take all night and stew it nice and slow. I beg of you, please, just help a little with my curry. No. This is one of our club activities. Reina won't lose. When she enters club mode, even the normally kind Reina becomes an enemy. Looks like Rika is cooking apples as well. Ugh, she's a pro at this. How about Mion? Mion, you... What is that? Where did you get meat from? I predicted what we'd be doing about today by looking at the schedule, so I prepared accordingly. My curry is going to be marvelous. Upon closer inspection, it looks like Mion brought her own vegetables and spices and other ingredients. They are spread all over the place. Mion, just for today, you brought all this stuff from your house. Objection! Chance says there's no way this is allowed, is it? Objection overruled. As long as it makes for a delicious curry, anything goes. But that normally serious teacher goes so far as to append a star to the end of her sentence. Wait, how did he see the star? Just as the rumor said, she's a through and through curry freak. Rin and Rika are naturally gifted chefs. I've come with thorough preparations. And Kei-chan, what about you? It's hopeless. In the grand scheme of cooking, peeling the vegetables is only a small part of it. The hurdles I must overcome are just too numerous and too high. My bar, over here. Turning around, I saw the voices calling to me. They belonged to the underclassmen from earlier, Tomita and Okamura. What's up, guys? What's with that pot? Is it from your group? Switch this with your pot before someone notices. I think the curry the girls from our group made at the very least is better than what you could make. You guys, for me? Don't get the wrong idea. If you don't win, that is... Oh, right. If I don't win, then the talk of eating Satoko and Rika's curry goes right out the window. It seems like you're getting riled up about this too. Are we the villain? Are we the villain? We literally have two henchmen working for us to do all the work while our character, like, practically does nothing. Sorry, I mean, you're dead. I'm surprised the girls in their group agreed to this, Maibara. We're also serious about this. Filling in on day duty 3 times. These guys, to assure me victory, paid the price. That gate is filled with burning conviction for my underclassmen. I'm not fighting this alone. I'm fighting this with everyone. Leave it to me. Save some room, boys. I'll let you eat your fill. We should eagerly await your victory. Okay, so we haven't done shit. We haven't done shit, right? We didn't even peel the vegetables. We have like rice cooking. All right, gas stove. Controlling the heat's easy. You like a gas stove? Oh, well, all that's left is to let it stew a bit. The delicious smell of curry began wafting upwards. I guess it's better for cooking, right? It's better for, like, serious cooking. The pot gifted to me by my 2 underclassmen certainly drew some double takes. Reina even looked surprised when she came to take a look, so it must be pretty good. Hey Chan, you're pretty good. It looks like this will be a good match right to the bitter end. Reina wants to eat Keiichi's curry! Reina's curry and Mion's curry too. Everyone's a worthy opponent. I've done my best, but I'm not sure of the outcome. Keiichi-san, Rika's calling you. You'll see what she wants. What? Rika's calling me? What could it be? Whatever. Well, I'm mad I can gather some intelligence on the enemy. Dude, Satoko's gonna pour salt in your fucking curry. Rika was doodling on the ground in front of the pot. Because all that's left is to let it stew. Even then, it's good to know that she doesn't leave the stove unattended. Hey Rika, how's yours going? It's Mr. Curry. What? Rika-chan was doodling something strange and introduced it as Mr. Curry. Mr. Curry's amazing. He shoots beams from his eyes. Pew pew. Apparently Mr. Curry shoots beams from his eyes. Drawing a beam with a stick, she etched a line toward my feet. Does this mean I've been shot with a laser? Bearer, Beam reflect? I took another stick in my hand and reflected the beam, striking Mr. Curry. Mr. Curry can shoot missiles from his stomach. Pshoo! Pwah! My bar is super electromagnetic barrier. Retaliatory beam. He likes this beam. Mr. Curry absorbs the beam and fires his impulse wave cannon. Rika and I scratched the ground, thoroughly engrossed in our doodle war. Wait a minute. Rika, you called me here for a reason, right? Yep, I called you. But I've already fulfilled my purpose. At that moment, a chill ran up my spine. I told you. Satoko's gonna pour salt in your curry, man. Already fulfilled her purpose? It got me! Headed back to my pot, standing there just as I feared was Satoko. With no questions asked, I drop-kicked the back of her head. What do you think you're doing? You know better than to do that to a lady's head. Who cares about that? Satoko, did you mix something with my How impertinent. I haven't fallen that far. Despite what you may think, I'm a fair person now. Then what's this incomprehensible line of ladles and plates? Leaving them in these unstable positions, if they fall over, what will you do? At that moment, a breeze blew by, knocking over a ladle that was stood on its end. The ladle, like a domino, fell over and knocked the next cooking utensil in a row. Whap, 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 clank, 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 thud, thud. This is art. Come to think of it, Domino World Record Challenge were quite the rage on television a while back. Kitchen, the frying pan! I didn't even have time to react. The chain reaction knocked over a cutting board, then a frying pan, and next after that was my pot. The fry pan struck my pot full force, tipping it over. The contents cruelly spilled out, and now my masterpiece was being sampled by the schoolyard. I stared dumbfounded. It was such a beautiful and elaborate mousetrap that for a moment I lost touch with my with reality. Oh my, what a catastrophe! I didn't do anything, you hear me? Oh! At the very last moment, I'd let my guard down. I ignored the culinary incompetent Satoko for far too long. Even if she couldn't cook, she still had this method of fighting back. And just then Reina, who'd been sampling her own pot, let out a scream. What? Reina's curry is salty? Salty? Was Reina also sabotaged? Then what about Mion? My rice is salty, I've been had! Oh, with this, all the obstacles in my way have been taken care of before the fight even begins. All that effort wasted. So sad, so sad. So very, very sad. Rika and Satoko rubbed my dumbfounded head to their heart's content. Just pour their curry on the ground. Oh wait, he made a bargain, he can't do that. Pushing the desks together, it was about time for the meals to be judged. The delicious odor of curry spread throughout the courtyard. The members of the forestry service, to whom we owed gratitude for their daily work, were guided to their seats. This is their teacher. Rumiko Chie looks like Shion. Our favorite curry girl. Hexa-wielding black keys looks like Shion to me. Alright, so how is this gonna go? The principal gave a bit of a ceremonial introduction, and next the teacher expressed their desire for them to judge the curry contest. The men from the forestry service seemed to like that kind of thing and gave their enthusiastic approval. Is everyone finished? We'll now have all the judges sample your cooking. Everyone in class brought their painstakingly made curry and arranged them on the desk. The only club members who managed a decent result were Rika-chan's group. Knowing full well it was a failure, Reina plated her curry for the judges. She already knew she was going to get a low score. But at least she was still able to serve hers. Both Mion and my curry were completely obliterated. We couldn't even line them up on the table. The judges started from the curry made by the lower grades. They had a lively discussion praising the food. And finally, it was our curry's turn. Next up is Ryugu-kun's curry. Yes. This looks quite appetizing. The principal cheerfully shoveled a spoonful of Reina's salty curry into his mouth. Of course, his expression immediately changed. What happened, Ryugu-san? It seemed so delicious when you were cooking it. Chie must have had some expectations, judging for her disappointment. I'm sorry. I might have added an entire bag of salt by accident. The rest of the judges grimaced after they each had a bite. I feel sorry for them. Failure is but the seasoning for success. I'm looking forward to next time. Do your best. Saying that, the principal devoured the rest of the oversalted curry in one go. Truly a man amongst men. Reina was down and out. Her offensive capabilities were something else, but she was defeated due to her weak defense. Well then, please savor our curry next. I say Furude's-san's group put a lot of effort into their curry. Let's see here. It's simple but nicely done. There was also the incident with Reina's salted curry right before this, so the judge's assessment was extraordinarily high. Well, maybe not extraordinary, but perhaps today's forerunner? The judges began a heated debate. One of the judges let out a sigh as he removed a chunk of carrot with his spoon. This kid's curry really isn't half bad, but I don't like carrots, you see. Personally, I think carrots are a staple of curry, but I guess to each their own. However, seeing that, Rika read the nameplate on the chest of his coveralls and began to speak. That's no good, Kyochi. You have to eat your carrots? What's she saying all of a sudden? Everybody turned to Rika with a stunned look, but what Rika just did was super effective. The carrot-hating judge began stuffing his face with curry while tears streamed down his face. Kyochi, there's seconds if you want them. Mommy! While crying like that, he continued shoveling curry into his mouth. That's right. Rika's curry was by no means simple. It had the taste of a mother's cooking. With the carrot-hating judge out of the picture, Rika Chan's assessment was unanimous. Oh, nobody could stand up to Rika's curry. Satoko let off a shrill laugh as she was declared victory, but at that moment... Don't be fooled, my esteemed judges. Don't be deceived into thinking that meager slop is the taste only a mother can provide. What you people actually want to eat was this curry, wasn't it? Ooh. All of a sudden, in all its perfect glory, Mion's curry. Not only the judges, but the teacher and underclassmen, and of course myself, could only gasp in admiration. Hamburg steak with a demi-glazed sauce and a fresh salad. It's a set. I wouldn't be stretching it to say this was a full-course meal. It's perfect. Perfectly made. Is there any rice? Amazing, amazing. Mii-chan, you're amazing. Mii-chan, you're amazing. Satoko was also shocked. Yes, there was Mii-chan, you're amazing twice. Even Rika couldn't hide her surprise. It seems the victor was decided without even needing a taste. Of course, the hamburger was hand-kneaded. The salad also had a home-style dressing, but of professional quality. And the curry, not even a micron of grit. It's sublime. Truly a taste of savor, Sasaki-san. The curry is no doubt a living testimony to 6,000 years of Indian knowledge and beautiful harmony with Japanese cuisine. I'm elated. It deserves full marks. I'm giving it 100 points. You're welcome. I'm just trying to set an example as class rep. Mion bowed politely, and then winked at us with a smirk on her face. I admit defeat. There's no way this is happening. I'm certain I sabotaged that pot of rice. That's right. Satoko dumped salt into Mion's rice cooker, which should have ruined it. At the moment it hit me, I sprung back towards my own canister. That's why. At some point, my cooking canister had been opened, its contents completely emptied. Damn you, Mion, you used my rice! That's not fair! Hand over half your curry! Mion clucked her tongue and waved her finger at me as a smirk washed over her face. Oh there, Kei-chan, you're not taking this seriously enough. You gave up at the last moment. I didn't. That's the difference between us. As soon as you give up, it's all over. I couldn't even properly voice my shame. Mii-chan, I feel sorry for Keiichi-kun. Just give him at least a little. It's fine, it's fine. This is a lesson. Kei-chan just learned you shouldn't give up on the contest until it's all over, right? Right? It loads me to say it, but Mion is right. To give up so quick in the match was my own folly. Okay, here's where you go talk to the judge and you say, actually, Mion used my rice, and Satoko dumped my curry on the ground so that I wouldn't have a chance to succeed. I mean, it seems like his answer is usually like appealing to someone else. So, appealing to the authorities and saying, hey, if they want to steal all my stuff and ruin my meal, they're clearly cheating. Get them disqualified. But I don't think that'll happen because usually Mion still wins. So for Mion to have brought that to my attention, I should actually be grateful to her. Does that mean even in this situation I shouldn't give up? My curry was overturned while it's still in the pot, and I don't have any rice left. How in blazes am I supposed to not lose hope in this situation? My Bara-san. Tomita and Okamura suddenly appeared. Damn it. Even though my proteges tried so hard, I wasn't able to meet their expectations. It was an accident. There was nothing you could do. Both of them were dejected. I couldn't accept defeat so easily. I was their senior. What would I be if I didn't pick up the broken pieces of the dream I'd shown them? I just learned it from Mion just now, didn't I? Don't throw the contest. Not until the last moment. Think, Keiichi. Think. Not about how to make more curry. About how to win the match. Aha! Or ah. I had an idea. I didn't think it could turn the tables, but it was better than nothing. Tomita, come and wash your hands. Help me out. Okamura, there's something I want you to find. Gotcha. Both of them dispersed after receiving these instructions. Oh, how's Keiichi gonna flounder about at the end? Why don't you show me? Nobody likes a stubborn fool, you know. Shut up, just sit there and watch the last card I have to play. First, Mion, I'll be taking some of your rice. I won't let you say no. But I don't really care, it's salty after all. It's okay if Reina helps too, right? Keiichi's in trouble right now. Hearing you say that's very reassuring. Well, Reina, go make some tea. He doesn't trust me. Next, Satoko and Rika. I challenge you to a side bet. What do you say? I listened to your request. It was my duty to my two proteges who shed blood, sweat, and tears for my sake. Satoko, Rika, if I achieve a perfect score, I'll be taking your curry. Nothing for you to eat. You need to know when to stop joking around. I'll be giving a big no to that. Oh. No, it's alright, Satoko. Take him up on it. Firmly patting the top of Satoko's head, Mion said those words with all the gravitas of a club president. You handicapped him this much, didn't you? There's no way he can make up for that, so meet him head on. No matter how hard he struggles, he's not going to make a comeback, right? Maybe true, but I don't mind. Keiichi, go for it, yay! Alright, what's our plan? The judges, growing tired of sampling various curries, were debating each entry. From what little I overheard, it seemed Mion's impending victory was not in question. By the way, what happened to my bars curry? I haven't tried it yet. Yeah, the pot with my curry in it fell over. Is that so? A real shame. I may have lost my curry, but that doesn't mean I've lost this contest. I'll have everybody singing my praises. My combative posturing had drawn the attention of all the judges. First, be quiet and eat these, please. I'll listen to your complaints after that. This is my cooking. My bar, that's onigiri, huh? The judges smiled wryly at the simple fare that was quite in contrast to the preceding bravado. Reina poured tea in the cups she had brought over from the break room. He's making a mockery of this. But look, there's not even any filling. It's nothing more than salted onigiri. This isn't even worthy of being called a contest anymore. It's true, the amount of salt might be a little much, but Reina's expression told me she thought this was a great idea, but it might not be enough to win the match. Ooh, some water, delicious. My bar, is this really enough to make a comeback? Well, gentlemen, you did well. It's alright. Just watch. The judges were chewing with their mouths full and sipping at the tea. Nobody was singing praises or awestruck. They were just quietly chowing down. It seems Keiichi has learned how to use some rather underhanded tricks. This might be difficult. That's right. Reina understands that now, too. But what do you mean? Why is everyone just quietly eating that much? You see, Satoko-chan, that's because the judges are actually tired of eating curry. Because they were judges, they had to sample each and every offering. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. We're going to enjoy this chapter. And because they were from small children, because they were made to show their appreciation, they couldn't just eat a little bit of each. Sometimes a man values the amount more than the taste. At those times, rather than rich, mind-blowing flavor, they crave simplicity. They couldn't say it out loud, but this was the tastiest thing they'd had today. I confirmed that by looking in their eyes as the judges smiled wryly. I'll praise your efforts, but today's contest was about curry. I'm not sure we can give a score to this. The teacher and the principal folded their arms while they pondered the situation. My underlings, seeing that, saw the small glimmer of hope fade away and grew dejected. Was this little surprise just not enough? Don't give up, Kei-chan, Mion whispered quietly. That's right. If I didn't push here. No, I'll have you give it a score. If you think that curry and onigiri are really that different, you're sorely mistaken. Wait. Okay, let's hear this. My Bara, what are you saying? How are they the same? The principal stopped the teacher. It looked like he was giving me a final chance. Alright, let's hear it. The judges, having eaten their fill, quietly waited for my statement. In its homeland of India, a curry is usually eaten with a type of bread called naan, isn't it? And therefore you could say this cuisine we call curry rice is something we adopted and modified, just as the teacher said at the beginning. It's a fusion of Indian and Japanese cuisine. I know what you're trying to say, my Bara, but what does that have to do with onigiri? It's actually very simple. Both curry and onigiri are things that are made to let you enjoy eating rice. Rice was introduced to Japan from ancient China. Our agricultural forebears watered the fields, fighting the elements, disease and pests to grow and raise our rice-centric culture. Yes, the Japanese people have formulated a plethora of dishes, but those were nothing more than attempts to find ways to enjoy eating rice. In other words, curry and onigiri are both the results of rice culture. Okay, well, he's giving it a shot. It was scattered at first, but slowly grew into a steady roar. It was a thunderous applause that praised me. Enough with the nonsense already. I won't accept this. The teachers are only judging curry, you know. It's out of the question. It's obviously deserves 0 points. Miss Keiichi-kun did his best. Could you please acknowledge that? Today's class was supposed to be about curry. What should we do? Mion, stifling her laughter, stepped forward. There's a story about how when a Michelin 3-star chef from France came to Japan, the people from the hotel he was staying at had a whole bunch of ingredients from France imported, but the chef didn't give them a second glance. I wonder why that was. They were ingredients from his homeland. The chef went to the local fish market and made a dish from fresh fish caught in Japan. The culture of food isn't bound by predetermined rules. I don't know how we got to this point, but alright, making statements about rice culture, alright. If you come to Japan and you meld Japanese culture and make something new. That's how curry and onigiri are the same. You know, she was providing fire support. I had to be grateful. The judges were somehow moved by this complicated yet baseless trivia. A stern look washed over the teacher's face as she refolded her arms. My Bara, your pot of curry was flipped over, wasn't it? Even though I said at the beginning to be careful. I'm sorry. But as my Bara and Sonozaki said, there are no boundaries in cuisine. Didn't Satoko literally admit in front of the judges to sabotaging my Bara? By dumping out his curry? If it's something that can amaze people, it's not something that should be discriminated against just because of the form. Then? For spilling your pot, minus 20 points. But just for today, for not giving up and doing your best, plus 20 points. I give you 100 points. Oh, it's like the equivalent of like 1 billion points to Gryffindor because I like them. My Bara, we did it! My underclassmen left at me. A perfect score! We did it! We did it! The curry was split and our rice was taken. But we made a comeback. In the end, Rika's curry also received full marks, so everyone but Reina had a perfect score. Since this contest was outside the score of regular club activities, there wasn't any particular penalty given. Reina breathed a sigh of relief. Now that it's promised, Satoko, Rika, I'll be taking your curry. But that means we won't have any lunch! Satoko stomped angrily at the ground in frustration, but the price of defeat was absolute. It's what I wanted to say, but I'll show you some mercy. You can eat half. Thanks, Keiichi. My two proteges peered over from the sidelines, tears of joy streaming from their faces. We exchanged glasses that would only be understood amongst men. We did it, my Bara. All thanks to you. We flashed each other a thumbs up. Now I just have to give these to my pupils. I've gotten pretty hungry myself. I guess I'll have one of my onigiri. What? Huh? There was no trace of my onigiri. The ones I set aside for myself included. As I peered around searching for them, the principal clapped a hand on my shoulder. Haha, when I was listening to that speech you gave, the rice I was chewing grew even more delicious. Could it be you also ate my share? The principal simply laughed without answering. Seriously? My eyes half brimming with tears and my stomach rumbling, I was called over by the teacher. My Bara, because of the circumstances, I had to give you a perfect score, but you understand, right? Understand what? There was an odd glint in the teacher's eyes. If I had to describe it, it was curry-colored. Like a pot of stewing curry, her eyes whirled around in a spiral. A chill washed over me. The teacher clutched me by the shoulders and drew me in closer till our noses were almost touching. Curry is this world's most respected and sacred of dishes. I will absolutely not allow it to be put in the same category as onigiri. You hear me? Curry was created in ancient India, one of the 4 great river valley civilizations, and was raved about during the reign of King Ashoka in Kapilavastu, the birth of the shaka at the International Food Expo Michelin, twirly twirly, even the Eiffel Tower was pickled in simmering curry turmeric, whether you asleep, awake, or curry. Hey, Keiichi-san, what are you stumbling around for? Cleaning up's part of cooking, too. Keiichi-kun, your eyes are all curried. Why is that? Curry. Yikes, she got him, huh? It's okay, he'll be back to normal by tomorrow. Probably. It wasn't that long before hunger brought me back to my senses. He became a curry zombie for the next few hours. Poor guy. That's what happens when you can't resist hypnosis or charm. In the end, all the onigiri was eaten by the principal. I had to make do without lunch. Rough, buddy. Skipping lunch, I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out. Are you alright, Keiichi-kun? That's why I said you shouldn't eat Reina's curry. As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise just by looking at it. It's what I said, as I initially refused at least. I could only regret it. The hunger, the stomach ache. Dude, you haven't eaten one meal. You'll live. Well, you did a good job making it through. Your absolutely hopeless situation, that is. Kei-chan, you're pretty strong when you're cornered, huh? I don't need compliments right now. I need food. There's something for you to eat at home, right? You don't keep snacks lying around at home. And I'm out of cup noodles right now. Haha, since you're enduring that hunger so much right now, I'm sure tonight's dinner is going to be real tasty. I had absolutely no intention of laughing along. Well then, I take my leave. I have my part-time job again today. It's really rough when you're not used to the work. That job at the Angel Mort family restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating, huh? You waitress really is hard work. Mi-chan's working as a waitress? Really? What kind of place is it? No, I'm right. I'm working at the toy store from the other day. Yeah, the toy store. Shion's the waitress. Oh, my bad. I completely forgot that's how it ended up being. I'm sorry. You guys look so similar, I just mixed you up. Keiichi-kun, who's Shion? Reina asked the obvious question. Mion's younger twin sister. She's got a different personality, but she's a dead ringer for Mion. That's right. We look similar, but our personalities are completely different. I'm very kind and thoughtful, but Shion has a cold and scary personality. I think that when you guys were born, Shion got all the feminine aspects. Unlike Mion, she's a cute, cheerful girl. Kei-chan! Reina interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange. Is that true? Reina never met her. Mi-chan, did you ever tell me you had a younger sister? Shion's existence is already being exposed as a cover-up. I couldn't help Mion out here. I could only have her end this charade. Yeah, I still haven't introduced her to you, Reina. My younger sister's name is Shion. I don't know. I didn't ask. I never met her when I went to Mi-chan's house. Never met. Yeah, that. I'm the only one that lives with Granny. Shion lives at the family home in Okonomiya. We're not that close, so yeah, she doesn't come here that often. Reina's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kinds of things. Well, it's not a lie. Please believe it. As she said, yeah, I believe you. A smile suddenly blossomed on Reina's face. Reina wants to meet her. I'll go see her sometime. What store is she working at? What store? That is... she's getting more tangled in her little web. I could tell that Mion was getting increasingly frantic. I wanted to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues. It's rough, guys. Like, I'd love to help, but... damn shame. I just don't know enough about your family to help. Sorry. I have to get to work. Later. Reina, Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape. How's that sound? Mii-chan was looking kind of cute. I wonder why. Reina giggled in amusement. I guess we know where we're going for a snack, right? I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy? I mean, sort of. It works well if you're Saber, right? I sprawled in the entryway without even taking off my shoes. Seriously, it's like one lunch. As I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. It seemed I had a guest. Come on in. It's open. I directed my listless voice at the door. Good afternoon. Kei-chan, what are you doing? It seemed my guest was Mion, or rather, Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway. Is that Shion? Wait, why? I thought Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered Shion would appear here. I heard from my sister. Because of club activities today, you weren't able to eat lunch, right? Yeah, it was a lot of trouble. Satoko spilled my pot and you stole my rice. But I'm Shion. She grew red and began to mope. That's right, she was the younger twin now. Sorry. What's up? Did you bring something for me to eat? Oh my. So disappointing you hit the nail right on the head, but here. With a disappointed smile, Shion held out the small bento box she had hidden behind her back. What? You really brought something to eat? Thanks. There was still some of the ground beef left over from when my sister brought to school. I knew it was going to be right before dinner, but I wondered if you'd want it. Am I bothering you? Not even a bit. I'm really happy. Can I really eat this? Sneaking a look inside the box, to say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside. Is it really okay? There's not like a ton of hot sauce mixed in or anything, right? Jeez, I'm not my sister. I wouldn't do that kind of thing. If you don't like it, you don't have to force yourself. I'll just go home and eat it myself. Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt she was the same person as Mion, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments. I don't mind at all. Waifu material. But it might just be Mion cosplaying as someone else. I don't mind at all. I want to chow down on it with thanks from the bottom of my heart. I mean, she literally said she has to go waitress, and she's like, no, wait, I'm not waitressing. I'm, yeah, I'm totally working at a bookstore. Yeah. It's not supposed to be so they can boy. Yukino has to run. Shion, who thought I might not take the bento, looked down happily. Like, here's an easy question. How does Shion know where you live? Mion told her? Like, just imagine that. It's like, you come home, you tell your sister, oh man, my friend, one of my friends totally, like, ruined, just, like, dumped my other friend's food on the ground. At lunch, he's probably starving. And she's like, where does he live? I'll go deliver food to him. Like, does that like, I don't think that's something they're gonna do, right? It seems really suspicious for them to go that far their way, but hey. There's not much. Do you want to come in? I could probably make some tea or something. Sorry, maybe some other time. I'll on my way to work. That's right. She did say that before. Just rinse the box out with water and give it back to my sister tomorrow, please. Of course. It'd only be the proper thing to do after being allowed to eat something that looks this delicious. Well then, I take my leave. Oh yeah. And someone said waifu alert. There you go. Nice. Full screen. Alright. One last thing. Shion grew red as she looked down once more. You're in that contest with the curry. My sister took your rice without permission, right? My sister fools around too much. Sometimes she gets carried away. She wasn't doing it just to be mean. Hey, it's not like I mind that too much. There are no grudges when it comes to club activities after all. In fact, I should be the one that's thankful for all the thrills and entertainment. Could you tell that to Mion for me? Yeah, I think. My sister will be very happy to hear that. Well then, I have to go. Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch. He did not have a watch on either of her wrists. I'm happy, but is this really okay? I looked at the bento she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed in, but really, I don't think she would go that far as putting a needle in there. Oh, she would. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted a bit. I took a bite. And another. There was no funny business. There was no danger, for it was delicious. That's right, this was Shion, not Mion. There shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious my stomach could cry. She gave you a delicious lunch. Very generous. Shion. Mion. When she heard I was so hungry I could die, she brought this over to me. It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange was mixed in. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical. We got to enjoy ourselves a delicious meal courtesy of Mion/Shion. Very generous. Very generous for someone that suspicious. A new tip, it was delicious. Hint, it was delicious. Okay, I understand. Hold up, did it change the graphic when I moused over? Hey Mion, here. What is it, Kitchen? I thrust the bento box she'd given me yesterday at her face. It had the food you gave me in it, thanks. It was great. Mion's face quickly flushed bright red. Hey now, you're the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall into her own grave, so I decided to help her out. Okay, let's bail her out. She's not playing the role of two different people correctly. Listen, I was pretty hungry yesterday. Out of the blue, Shion came all the way to my house and gave me some food in a bento box. So this is that box. Make sure you wash it out. Right. Shion's really considerate, huh? It was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute. So, what did you think? You two are like peas in a pod. You're twins, right? Obviously you look the same. Not that, Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion, but the bento. Oh, of course. It was delicious. Really? I never lie about liking food. If I say something's good, it's objectively good. You can feel free to give my recommendations to every single person you meet. Tell Shion it was seriously great, alright? Yeah, okay. Tell Shion, right? I will. I think she'll be happy. We're going along with Shion having given it to me, not Mion, aren't we? Yet her laugh, it came from deep down and sounded really happy. I guess she really can laugh nicely enough that just looking at her makes me feel better too. A sarcastic remark made its way onto my tongue, but I swallowed it back. Is this the Mion route? I mean, the first chapter was like us doing the Reina route and getting murdered. Is this the Mion route? We meet Mion's quote-unquote twin sister. And Mion does all sorts of cutesy stuff for us. Please tell. Well, I feel like this ends badly anyway, but let's see. As Mion went to put the bento in her bag, she noticed a clattering noise. Okay, Chan, there's something inside. Wow. She opened it? The thing inside was a little embarrassing. I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hid it with my hands. My mother told me to put them in as thanks. I didn't come up with it or anything. Don't get the wrong idea. It's so pretty. Candy. There was a handful of candies neatly wrapped in paper inside the sparkly, clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to who gave me the food. Then she told me something like this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to because it was embarrassing, so I argued it wouldn't be like me to do that. Oh, that's what happened. I mean, yeah. I was definitely not planning to put any in at all. I thought it was weird. I was so embarrassed it felt like fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason, she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my mom, she put them in there. Besides, you're not the one I need to be thanking, right, Mion? Those are for Shion, okay? Right. Right. Okay. I'll be sure to tell Shion. I just know she'll be happy. Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Now she can't eat them. She can't eat them all day, right? Because she's not Mion. It's not for Mion, it's for Shion. So she has to wait till she gets home to try them. Seemed like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end. Hey Chan, you look sort of cozy today. Did something happen? Did it? Perhaps she caught a fever? The red in her face is probably due to the increased body temperature. Hey, Rika. Why are you petting my head? Why are you petting my head? Toko, I'm sure you'll be able to catch fevers soon enough. Pet, pet, pet. I wonder if Rika and Satoko are in on it too. Genuinely curious. We'll find out. End chapter 3 and move on. I might have explained this before, but Bizet at our school is really just an exercise in disorder. After some random warm-ups, the rest of the time is spent doing, well, whatever. You're free to cause a ruckus or just fall asleep. I'm not really sure, but doesn't the Board of Education have a curriculum for this or some shit? Something like, when you're this old, you should have this amount of physical ability. That's ableist, you can't have that. I have no idea what you're saying, Keiji-san. It's rather difficult to understand. So what are we playing for Bizet this time? Last time we played Zombie Tag. Well, you see, it's something like a rule for teachers to follow during class. Maybe you weakling city folk need something like that, but do you really think us country-raised kids would lag behind in physical ability? We're better athletes than you'd think, Keiichi. Come to think of it, they might be right. If we all lined up for a race, there was a good chance I'd finish dead last if I didn't start off well. I mean, to be fair, they're like 14. Mion's probably just as tall, if not taller than him. Let's just pray that when a brutal penalty game's at stake, the 100-meter dash isn't a club activity. On that note, I watched too much television, so I'm fantastically tired. I'll be using this time to catch up on my sleep. It's 4th period, and I'm completely starved. If I don't sleep now, when will I ever? You can sleep when you're dead, my friend. As I began to sprawl out on top of a pipe, Mion grabbed me by the collar. You really think I'd let you sleep in peace and quiet? With that look on your face, it'd require more courage to try and take a nap than not. Good grief. This means it's gonna start again? Now, just killing time with idle chit-chat until the bell rings is impossible for us hot-blooded youth, isn't it? Shall we start a club activity? Just as I thought. Come to this. What's today's game? Now that this is happening, taking a nap is impossible. Not just that, with this sleep-deprived head of mine, I'm as good as mincemeat. Try to remember your lesson not to give up. Do your best, come on. Come on, Maibara. Kanbaro Maibara-kun. Alright. Get your brain in gear, my man. It's time to go. Brandon thinks we should decide what today's penalty game should be before we start. Brandon knows what's up. I prepared something super special today. She began to announce the cruel penalty game with a grand spinning flourish. But before she could do that... I'm sorry. I have something I wanted to do. Of all people, it was Rika announcing her non-participation. Well, usually they cancel club activities if someone's not here, right? Especially if it's Mion who's gone, they usually cancel, so are they gonna not host the games? Let's see. Even rare events do eventually occur. Losing her timing, Mion spun like a top as she tumbled to the ground. What's the matter? Are you not feeling well? Oh, that's right. Mi-chan, she has to practice for the Watanagashi. That's right. That's right, it's this Sunday. Rika's in the middle of super serious training right now. I've been working too hard lately. My arms hurt. Oh, poor Rika. Her arms are sore. From beating a mattress or something. Well, there's nothing that can be done. There's no point doing anything if we can't get everyone together. Today, let's just take it easy. I'm very sorry. I'll try my best. Good luck. We'll be cheering you on. When Mion announced that today's club activity was cancelled, Rika and Satoko headed off behind the school building. Only I was left alone, completely clueless as to what everyone else was talking about. What was that about? Is Rika training for a competition or something? Rika's a shrine maiden for the Watanagashi, so she has to perform a ritual dance. It's practice for that. Why don't you explain things in order? First, what is the Watanagashi? Next, what do you mean by shrine maiden? This man lives in Japan and doesn't know what a shrine maiden is. Next, what do you mean by ritual dance? Didn't you get the notice at your house, Kei-chan? Wasn't it written there? Watanagashi Festival is this Sunday? Come to think of it, I have a feeling Mom said something about it during dinner the other day. Watanagashi is a festival that happens at the shrine on a Sunday every June. It's very lively. I see. Watanagashi sounds like a strange name for it, though. Is it something like the Lantern Festival, where they have a memorial for the dead by floating things down the river? I figured you might guess right, Kei-chan. Watanagashi, or Cotton Drift Festival, as the name implies, is where we set cotton adrift down the river. The cotton, you see, is from futons or jackets. So it'd be something like a futon memorial? They also pile futons up on the altar. I've heard of people leaving offerings of things like needles or knives to their ancestors or to casualties of war. But an offering of futons is definitely a first for me. That's right. Make an offering to the gods. Offer your bed. May as well offer your house too. Maybe your soul. So what's the history behind all this? That's a good question. Thanks for asking, Kei-chan. Mion tilted her head pensively. I don't think there's a complicated backstory to it. The winters around here are pretty harsh, so things like warm futons and coats to ward off the cold are fairly important, I guess. Apparently, our favorite fox is interrupting us, who also dresses like a shrine maiden. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. Alright, so it's not too complicated, I see. In other words, it's something like giving thanks to the futons who took care of you during the winter then? And the shrine maiden holds a memorial service for them and sets them adrift. That's what the Watanagashi is? Mion and Reina indicated I had the correct answer with a round of applause. Okay, so that's the Watanagashi. And you see, the shrine maiden performing the memorial is Rika-chan. Oh, Rika's a shrine maiden. Now that you mention it, she does have a mystical air about her. Right? Rika's in a Shrine Maiden outfit? Huh? So cute. It certainly does seem like it would suit her. Yeah, it might be cute. I finally get what you're saying. Rika's training is for her performance as a Shrine Maiden, then. That would be it. The Shrine Maiden has to purify a number of photons as part of the ceremony. It's practice for that. It's a lot of hard work. The Shrine Maiden has to carry a large ceremonial hoe as part of the rite. It's really heavy for Rika. Well, Rika is pretty small. Exactly how heavy is that hoe? It's pretty heavy. Enough that Rika has been practicing with a mochi mallet. Wait a minute. That's way too heavy. Forget about Rika, that's rough even for me. It's a sacred ceremonial hoe. If she dropped it by accident, there'd be big trouble. But it's a once in a year kind of deal. All we can do is cheer from the sidelines. You'll be okay. She pulled it off last year. Wait, really? The least I can do is cheer her on. Even something that little would help, right? Right? I was rather curious about how she practiced. Mion laughed as she shook her head. Leave her alone. If you go, Rika will get all cute and won't be able to practice. I didn't quite understand what Mion was saying. You see, Rika doesn't like showing people how hard she works, okay? Just leave her be. Even the always cool and aloof Rika-chan has times when she sweats while giving it her all. Because she was always so well put together, she didn't want people to see an ungainly side of her. Not like I couldn't understand the feeling. All I can do is pray for her success, huh? Well, do your best. Rika Furuta, I'm cheering for you! Well then. I climbed up on the pipe and plopped down on my side. Hooray, Rika-chan! In order to transmit more of my psychic waves of encouragement, I'll be entering a meditative state now! Nap tap. So you're gonna sleep after all? Ow. Why'd I get bonked for that? The lackadaisical noontime ended up giving way to mind-numbing afternoon classes. Well, that's life for you. That's work for you. Rebounding from yesterday's hunger, I ate too much for lunch today, leaving me in a horrible condition. Ugh, I might have gorged myself a bit too much. I'll have to endure afternoon classes. Wait, how'd you gorge yourself? Shouldn't you only bring enough lunch that you would actually eat it for the most part? I guess he, like, overpacked his lunch. Keiichi, you have an amazing appetite today. Basically, you always eat like a pig. But today was at a whole different level. Yesterday I skipped lunch, right? That hunger just soaked right in. This time, no matter how much I ate, my hunger knew no bounds. I get you. But really, Keiichi, you always finish your lunch down to the last bite. Heck, even down to the last grade of rice. Wait, that's actually kind of exhausting to do. I don't know, every time I bring lunch, I find it to be a huge pain to get like the last couple grains of rice, and it's just not worth it. It's like, am I really going to expend this much energy, like, for 2 pieces of rice? I'd rather move on with my life. With food, you show your appreciation for the person who made it by eating, you know? If you leave anything behind, it's rude to the person who put in all the effort. I'm the one who put in the effort, though, and I don't care. Hearing that, Mion's eyes momentarily widened in surprise, followed by a cool laugh. Kei-chan, really? At first glance, you seem unruly and irresponsible, but you're actually pretty conscientious. Well disciplined or something like that. Yeah, Rena thinks so too. Keiichi's a lot kinder than he looks. Both of them were probably trying to compliment me, but I had a strange feeling I wasn't being complimented at all. That's not true. I just wanted to say there's a big gap between your appearance and personality. And I'm saying, that's not a compliment. Hey, Sonozaki, my bar. We're in the middle of class. How far did you get, Sonozaki? Bring your notes up here. The teacher's calling us. Damn. Startled, Mion vocalized a rather easy to understand utterance. She was so enthralled by the conversation, she'd stopped working completely. And Mion sucks at class, right? Doing alright. You haven't progressed at all. You're in the highest grade. You gotta shape up. That Mion. Looks like she's getting lectured. Poor bastard. Appearances can be deceiving. In other words, actually, appearances might be the opposite of reality. You say some interesting things. Responding to Reina's seemingly profound statement, I turned my gaze to where Satoko was happily studying together with Rika. Are you saying that brat Satoko is actually really meek? If I went by what Reina literally said, that would be the case, right? I could hardly imagine Satoko being meek and gentle like a girl in some fairy tale. Satoko's been rude lately, but just a while ago, she was pretty different. She acted really spoiled and always, keeps a secret from Satoko, okay? Is Satoko acting cute? For Satoko to play coy, I think that would have to be some part of calculated plot. Even if she was to hide behind someone, I wouldn't think it was because she was attached to them. But since it came up, I tried to imagine a gentle and coquettish Satoko. It doesn't work. It doesn't fly. It doesn't fly. It's not a thing. Hey, Satoko. What is it, Oni-sama? Satoko smiled cutely and walked towards me. By the way, for every 3 steps forward Satoko took, for some reason I took 3 steps away. Oni-sama, why are you running away? Sorry, Satoko. For you to approach me with an affectionate smile on your face, I just have to think it's some kind of trap. That's so mean. Oni-sama, you meanie. Ah. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so mean. The weeping Satoko came closer to me. I'm a sucker for tears. Click. What? A bear trap? My leg was being clamped down by jagged metal teeth. Ha ha ha! You fell for it. Now for the next part. Satoko raised her right arm triumphantly, and traps began to trigger one after another. Suddenly the wall sprang forward, throwing me 3 blocks away. And there I saw a giant metal ball covered in spikes hurling towards me. And on top of that, in the direction the ball would knock me, a giant guillotine. I'm not really sure, but can't you, cute? You're not thinking of anything completely ludicrous right now, are you? Not really. Not at all. It's about average for Satoko. It's a lie. You got the kind of look on your face that says, I'm going to be crushed by a giant spiked metal ball. How could my expression convey what I was thinking like that? That was quite the read she has on him. Sorry. Imagining a meek and gentle Satoko is impossible right now. I'll try again when I'm in better shape. Next, I looked at Rika, who was working diligently on some kanji drills. In contrast to Satoko, her default state was meek and gentle. If Rika-chan came at me saying, Oni-sama, I'd hug her, tightly. I could get used to that one. Keiichi, you're truly... Sorry. How about Rika-chan? You're saying her appearance is deceiving as well? Saying that out loud, I felt a tinge of doubt. Was Rika really all sweet? Despite her appearance, she really was quite sly. Sweetly, how do you put it? Evading things deftly? I get the feeling Rika isn't only just sweet. Her appearance is definitely deceiving. I couldn't put exactly what I was imagining into words, but Reina managed to say what I wanted to. She turned to me with an impish look in her eyes, like she was saying, you shouldn't say something like that. When Rika grows up, I'm sure she'll become an incredibly devilish beauty, with men wrapped all around her little finger. Don't you think that would be cool? Reina said it lightheartedly, but I, as a man, couldn't laugh at that. The scary part about it was that it felt like it could be true. Noticing my gaze, Rika turned towards me and let loose with an angelic smile. Both Reina and I, feeling as if it was directed towards us personally, had our hearts skip a beat. So cute, so cute. Reina, your nose is bleeding. Reina? Appearances can be deceiving, huh? Well, what about our dear leader then? I stared at her as she tried to weasel her way out of her scolding by the teacher. By Reina's theory, that unrefined, calculating, conniving Mion had a side of her the polite appearances, aka Shion. Then what you're saying is Mion, despite her appearance, is actually a good person? Mi-chan is a good person. Oh, well, that is true. What I'm trying to say is... Yep, I know what you're trying to say, Keiichi. Catching on that I was struggling to express my feelings as words, Reina smiled even more brightly. Know what? Mi-chan's mysterious, right? She's a girl, but it's like she's a guy. That's right. Mion was more than aware that she was a girl, but it was exactly as Reina said. When Mion livened up the mood, it wasn't as though she felt like a guy or girl specifically, but as a friend of the same gender. If she were a guy, we'd probably be 2 peas in a pod. Although It's the same way it is right now. Fair enough, fair enough. But you see, even that Mi-chan is actually really feminine. Reina, how much did Mion pay you exactly? That's not true. I'm trying to have a serious conversation, you know? Reina began to pout. Now probably wasn't the time to joke around. Mi-chan's the cup president, so she's trying hard to lead everybody. But she's a really cute girl. I really don't want you to forget that, Keiichi-kun. Reina's gaze focused off into the distance beyond where Mion was. The Mion I met at Angel Moor was unimaginably different compared to the Mion that I normally knew. Flustered and hesitant from the unfamiliar job. It was a far cry from the brash and confident Mion. Even though she had to hurry to work, she went through all the trouble to bring me food when I was on the brink of starvation. And she did so not as Mion, but as Shion. What exactly was Shion to Mion? What kind of person was Mion exactly? Someone with multiple personality disorder? A compulsive liar, perhaps? Keiichi-kun probably couldn't even begin to imagine. As if to say it was our little secret, Reina held her finger up to her lips as she giggled. Mion, finally free from the teacher's preaching, returned to her seat, cradling her head to hide her embarrassment. This old man, you see, thinks that grade school's enough for everything you need to study for in life. Saying that, she plopped down into her seat violently. Mion was actually really feminine. Right. I wonder if I can meet Shion again. I wanted to talk to her again. Clang, clang. Looks like that's gonna be the bell. The principal waved around the bell that served as the school chime. A teacher rushed to the blackboard and began to list everybody's homework assignments. Looks like there's gonna be a lot of homework today. We gotta buckle down. Well then. Guess that means even Reina? What do you mean? Appearances can be deceiving. Would that apply to you too? What? Huh? Keiichi, how do you see me? Oh, I missed that. The Reina Ryugu I knew sometimes. How? She said how, right? How? The Reina Ryugu I knew sometimes took things too far, but was generally a kind and gentle, ideal girl. Really? That makes me happy, I guess. If she was the opposite of what she seemed, that would make her. And if I were really the opposite? Just try saying it. I won't be mad. That's what I felt she meant. Reina is. Even if you were the opposite, you'd still be Reina, right? This question shouldn't have been so nerve-wracking to answer. If Reina is good, then she should be. Maybe it's because the person in question was staring at me, but even saying that took a strange amount of effort. That's no fair, Keiichi-kun. Bothers me when you say it that way. Perhaps unable to endure my silence, Reina's face began to turn red with embarrassment. Alright, Reina, Kei-chan. Let's go home. Mion walked over and started getting ready to go home. Whenever school's over, she really does get noticeably more energetic. Wait, we're going home? We're not having club day? Maybe it's because Riga's practicing? She'll be busy or tired. It was the same relaxing walk home as always. Digging around my pocket on a whim, I noticed something that should have been there was missing.
Ho-ho!
What's the matter, Kei-chan?
Ho-ho!
Apparently How-How's here. The key to my house I always carry around is gone. The key to your house is gone, that's not good.
Ho-ho!
That's not good at all. The key to your house, what are you gonna do then?
Ho-ho!
What are you going to do then, my friend?
Ho-ho!
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It's apparently raining How-Hows today. I simply cannot control it. The key to my house. Alright, where'd you put the key to your house, man? It's fine today since my parents are home, but still, this is bad. Sure, it's troublesome. Did you forget it somewhere? Or did you drop it? Which was it? Did I take it with me this morning in the first place? I hate when that happens and you're like, oh, this is missing. Did I even bring it with me in the first place? Like, it feels like it should be there. I've done that a couple times. Wow, Welsh names are weird. It does in fact seem like someone just mashed their keyboard to come up with a name, and then you realize the name was invented before keyboards were. Someone actually gave it that name. Huh? Keychain. Did that key have anything that would make it stand out? Yeah, it's on a keychain. It's a blue fur seal, something I made for summer homework a long time ago. Oh, does it have his eyes shut like it's taking a nap? Wait, how did you know? Yeah, that's it. Mion looked away and began to whistle. You went for dinner at Angel Mort a couple of days ago, right? Well, that night, the staff found a key, and there was a fur seal keychain attached to it. As she said that, she suddenly grew flustered, and added that Shion told her about it. So I dropped it then. Aren't you glad they found it? I'm sure they're looking after it for you. That's right. Why don't you go? Shion looks the same as me, so you'll know her by sight. This is a rather unexpected development. Once again, I had no choice but to go and meet with Shion. But I also had to thank her for the bento from yesterday. Besides, taking some time and chatting with this other side of Mion might be interesting. Half-jokingly, I began to think about things like this. Right. Angel Mort, was it? I'll head over to Shion's restaurant and get my key back. While I'm at it, having a nice spot of tea might not be a bad idea. You sound like an English gentleman. That totally doesn't suit you, K-chan. Speaking of the English. Speaking of people from the UK. Is this the restaurant? The one that Michan's little sister's working at? Yeah, why don't we go there together, Reina? Sorry to disappoint. I have plans with my father today. Some other time. Reina seemed disappointed about having to miss such a great opportunity. You said they're twins, but do they really look that much alike? Enough to mistake which is which? Yeah, they're totally the same. We even made that mistake when we first met her. It's crazy. Crazy! At least on the outside. Unlike Mion, she's well-mannered and really cute, though. In response to my teasing, Mion pouted and began to argue with me. I couldn't help but burst out laughing at Mion's little farce. After all, they weren't just identical, they were the same person. Yeah, but Shion's way cuter. After going home, I changed my clothes and dug my bike out of the garage. Just thinking I'd be able to meet Shion again gave me a mysterious feeling. Shion, a name for a different kind of Mion. She was a mysterious and ridiculous person, believing she'd fooled everyone like that. I noticed I was pedaling along quite happily. Could it be I was looking forward to meeting Shion? I felt a sense of giddy anticipation, like I was headed towards a new friend's house for the first time. What Reina said about Mion actually being really feminine sprang to mind once again. The guilt from spying on another side of Mion, the self-consciousness from being the only one that knew about that side, these feelings, they mixed together. That was Shion for you. Mion's little twin sister. Until she felt like coming out and admitting she was Mion, it was fine to just call her Shion, right? Right? Mion might be trying to have some fun by acting out a different persona. As I reached the top of the steep hill, the horizon expanded before me. I was almost at the station. The last time I wasn't embarrassed since I was here with Dad, but this time I was alone. I was strangely self-conscious about it. Meet Shion, get my key back. That's all this task was supposed to be. If I dawdled like this, maybe Shion would find me before she headed in for work. Hey, what are you doing, Keiichi Maibara? You're just here to get your key back, you know? It's not like you're some love-struck schoolboy here to hand over a love letter. The thoughts inside my head were slowly turning into a jumbled mess. I came to the realization I was downright giddy. And that's why, just a bit, just a tiny little bit, I got a little carried away and did something really stupid. I kicked over a parked motorcycle that was blocking the sidewalk. What? Why is the motorcycle blocking the sidewalk? It was in the way, sure, but there was no need for me to kick it. I definitely think I got a little too carried away. Oh my goodness. As the 3 bikes toppled over one after another, like dominoes, the loud noise they caused snapped me back to my senses. Oh shit! The hell you think you're doing? The owners of those bikes were right there. They looked exactly what you'd call thugs up to no good. They lifted their heads up in an imposing manner and yelled angrily in a way I'd never even heard before. The 3 of them beelined towards me, the worn-down heels of their thin-soled shoes slapping noisily against the pavement. I could only stare listlessly as if I were watching some far-off event that didn't concern me at all. By the time I realized it, I'd been grabbed by the collar and lifted onto my tiptoes. Don't be playing dumb. You knocked over him, didn't you? The 3 thugs were completely ignoring the rules of grammar, but the way they spoke was enough to make me tremble. I like how his first thought is, these people are not speaking grammatically correct. They're not speaking in a grammatically correct way. Just like that, my composure drained, my legs buckled, and my throat grew dry enough to crack. Oh, sorry, I accident my ass. You kicked it, didn't you, dumbass? I was completely at fault. There was nothing I could say in my defense. As a result, I was pulled even higher. The hell, man? The paint's all scuffed, you brat! Who put you up to this? Huh? It's your goddamn fault. The 3 of them continued to yell at me. I had no idea what each of them were saying. Getting further enraged, I was only listening while dumbstruck. They grabbed an empty plastic crate from a nearby store and began to smash it repeatedly against a telephone pole. Cracks formed in the crate, plastic shards flying everywhere. They slammed it full force into the shuttered storefront. The shutter let out a frighteningly loud noise. Still not satisfied, they flipped over a case of empty cans, scattering the contents all over the place. This was not normal. It's something you saw often on television or manga, but I never thought seeing it in person would be this terrifying. I became painfully aware that the safety of civilized society was only upheld by such a frail concept as morals. I mean, are they actually doing anything, though? They're just smashing stuff around you. My knees clattered together noisily. Static began to pepper my vision. If you, wrecked 3 bikes paint jobs, that's easily, $3 grand in damage, man. That's pretty expensive. This is what you call absolute terror. Especially if they're, custom, right? Custom paint jobs? Oh, that'd be expensive. There's nothing I could do to stop this frightening spectacle of violence. I could only pray for help. The fear I felt was just too much. Would somebody help me? My gaze floundered about the surrounding area. I was surrounded by these 3 hoodlums. No way there'd be a passerby brave enough to intervene. Maybe this is what you'd call reaping what you sow. If I were a passerby, there'd be no doubt I'd ignore what was going on. This was somewhat of a cosmic retribution. Fucking say something! I'll fucking stab you! Are they British now? Angrily yelling loud enough to rattle my eardrums. They spewed forth right in front of my face. My waning consciousness was forcefully dragged back to the forefront. The thug had cocked his free hand and twisted his body when suddenly a metallic taste filtered through the back of my throat. A chill ran down my spine like a jolt of electricity. Seeing what was going to happen next, I squeezed my eyes shut as tightly as possible and grit my teeth. You're making quite the racket, you stupid pieces of trash. Get out of my sight. That voice was a short distance away. Still holding me by the collar, the 3 thugs spun around to look behind them. The fuck you say? Standing there was Shion. I mean Mion. She stood there displaying an imposing stature I'd never seen before. She didn't have the same look on her face as she did when we were playing around during club. Those were the eyes that would instill fear in anyone who looked upon them. The eyes of a raptor. They were the epitome of terror. At the same time, they were the most reassuring things in the whole world. I'll only say this one more time. Let go of Kei-chan and get lost. Mion, without an ounce of fear, laid down her ultimatum. Of course, there's no way those 3 wouldn't go absolutely berserk. The situation instantly turned explosively dangerous. You fucking bitch. I'll fucking bash you at it. The accents are too good. Stop it, Mion. They're like rabid dogs. No amount of bluffing's gonna work. Mion, it's dangerous. I knew what I was saying was pathetic, but I couldn't let Mion get involved with this. No matter how you looked at it, Mion was only bluffing. But did Mion even know the meaning of the word bluff? However, the reason behind everything soon became apparent. They were slowly increasing in number, little by little. At first, it was only businessmen on their way home stopping to take a look. Then it was housewives in the middle of shopping taking a gander. And next, what seemed like the owner of a store showed up, and it was pretty clear he wasn't just looking. Around Mion, there was already about 7 people gathered. It felt different than people coming out to support a friend. If I had to say why, it was because the group that gathered was diverse in age and gender. The 3 thugs seemed to slowly realize there was something strange about the situation. The hell are these guys? Behind them at some point, 4 more people of differing clothes and ages had gathered. A girl who looked to be in middle school, a man wearing a bakery apron, an old lady in a house cleaning smock. More and more people of various ages. Their gazes, comparable to Mion's, were of hostility, of intimidation. Before I realized it, over 10 people formed a ring around us. And at that moment, 5 elementary schoolers ran in and joined the circle. There were some familiar faces, some of our classmates. And these people were residents of Hinamizawa? More and more people from Hinamizawa gathered around. In obvious contrast, the residents of Okonomiya were passing by as quickly as possible. The fuck are you guys? Go the fuck away! A group surrounding us had suddenly swelled to around 20 people. Completely encircled, the faces of the thugs began to show the first signs of panic. Nobody spoke a word, Mion included. That made everything completely unnatural, and depending on which side you're on, completely terrifying. Only the thugs' voices echoed like they were screaming. Somebody took a step forward, closing the gap between them. As they did, everyone else took a step forward, shrinking the circle. The hoodlums went pale as they were pushed together, back to back, while still yelling angrily. They were trying to string together vulgarities, but for some reason it sounded like they were crying for help. Alright, what's going on? What's going on? It was sudden. A solidly built officer cut his way through the crowd. At some point, 2 police cars had arrived. Some passerby had undoubtedly called for them. Several burly officers appeared from inside the second vehicle. Oh, officer, good timing. There you go. The extortionist caught red-handed. Please arrest them. The fuck? This brass the one that's wrong here. Mion, returning to her usual self, was nonchalantly pointing out the hoodlums to the police. Of course, the thugs were furious, but now that it had come to this, there was nothing they could do. It was their loss. Okay, come on over here for a second. Come on already. The officers handcuffed the thugs and dragged them toward the patrol cars. The fuck? Let me go! We're the victims here! Are you listening, damn it? No matter how much of a ruckus they caused, the officers paid no heed. In the blink of an eye, they were crammed inside the 2 vehicles. They're dead. They could still be heard yelling while inside the police cars. What they were saying was no longer intelligible. Oh, you're alright? Oh, it's him. Well, are you injured? Yeah, we were just smashing some guys' bicycles for fun, and they got arrested, so even better. Not only did their bikes get wrecked, but they're also in jail. Like, we didn't know them, but we managed to fuck them as hard as possible. He's probably a detective. The man leading the police peered at my face. No, not really. Well, that's a bit of a silver lining then. Well, have a good year. The portly man, after taking a quick look around, addressed the crowd. Thank you, citizens, for your timely report. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to keep the peace today. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you for your hard work, Detective Uishi. As a citizen, I thank you for your daily efforts. It's an honor for a detective from the 1st Division to come out all this way. The way Shion talked didn't have a very pleasant tone. It was a coincidence. I happened to hear the call over the radio on my way back from the prefectural office. I just made a little detour. Please keep up the good work. I pray for success in your future endeavors. Ah, shucks. It's a good thing there were no injuries, though. Pishi-san, we're done here. Let's go. Well then, have a good year. I'm sorry, could you make way? The detective named Uishi, after jovially making pleasantries, lumbered over to the waiting police car. It quickly set off, disappearing down the city street. It was over so quickly. So quickly, I was dumbstruck. I didn't even get to ask the officer what was going on. It was like they came here quickly to disperse the mob before any trouble could start. After making sure the police cars had left, Mion snapped her fingers sharply. Alright, that's a wrap. And don't come back. That was the signal. The tension melted in an instant as everyone began smiling. A middle-aged man helped me up. Are you alright, young my bar? Next time, pick your fights a little better. It's not like I wanted to fight. Are you hurt anywhere? If you hit your head, it would be a good idea to get an x-ray taken. An older lady I didn't know the name of was concerned about my injury. You're lucky this happened right in front of the station when it was busy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to gather as many people. Next time, be more careful. City kids these days are pretty unruly. You did, like, wreck 3 motorcycles, though. I was even warned by the old lady in the smoke. As Shion finished applauding the dispersing group for their efforts, she strode over to me. Well, you're pretty good, Kei-chan. But I also think you should be more careful about who you pick fights with. Thanks, Mion. You saved my bacon there. Like I said, I'm Shion. She made a troubled expression as she turned her gaze downward, blushing in embarrassment. I heard from my sister. The first sale keychain was yours, Kei-chan? Yeah, that's right. I was just heading to the restaurant, actually. And you ended up feeling so excited you got mixed up in something weird? Now it's my turn for my face to go red. I didn't want to admit, but she was spot on. Well, I was just unlucky. You really saved me, Shion. You don't have to thank me. So if you see someone else getting bullied, help them out, okay? We value that kind of thing very highly here. I was well versed in that sense of camaraderie. But the way I was rescued just now, something seemed a little off about that. While I was helped out, it was honestly to an almost disturbing degree. Yeah, it was like suddenly everyone went full zombie mode and was just like, oh, are they the targets? You're coming into the restaurant, right? You must be tired. Why don't you relax for a bit? My treat. It seems she caught the glimmer of suspicion in my eyes. Without waiting for my answer, Shion began walking. I mean, that's what happens when you get in trouble, right? Like, just 20 people just show up out of the blue and stand in a circle around the people attacking you, waiting for them to do something. Perfectly natural, I assure you. After cooling off for a bit inside the restaurant, little by little, I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I'd been so stiff with nervousness. Shion, who'd changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee. Here you go, iced coffee on the house. Just bring this coupon with you to the register and it'll be no charge. My patheticness really knew no bounds, but since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I'd completely ruined it. But really, you really saved my hide there. I've really come to see you as reliable. Even I was scared, but Kei-chan was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best. Well, a little embarrassed by what she just said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly. Shion, really, thank you. I like how she has like a cross between a maid's outfit and a magical girl's outfit as well. Like, it's a really unusual costume for like, or not a costume, but uniform, but it's still cool. I was thanking Shion, but I really wanted to thank Mion. Mion, really, thank you. Now, cheer up a little. If you feel indebted, then when you have the chance, you'd help somebody in need. Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble. Please come and save me. Yeah, of course. He'll be Shion's hero. You would be too, right? Be honest with yourself. Of course, it's a promise. Ha, you absolutely have to. Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise. So if I'm ever in trouble, Kei-chan will come and save me. I hope trouble comes soon. You finally smiled, said as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek. Poke, poke. A downtrodden Kei-chan is as good as an imposter. Come on, smile, smile. That tickles. Stop, stop. Thanks to Shion's meddling, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that stiffened because of the incident finally began to relax a little. When you're in a better mood, don't you get a little hungry? I'm kind of hungry, so I want to eat some pancakes or something. Do you want some too, Kei-chan? I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing. That's why I replied without any. They're good, right? I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes. Don't worry, our pancakes have a pretty good reputation. Shion ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird. Speaking of that, wasn't Shion in the middle of a shift? She's just been slacking off while talking to me? I told my uncle you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you. So I have the manager's permission. She's like, I'm gonna bullshit away. You saved me, not the other one. That's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that alright? It's perfectly fine. By the time the pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. Well, hey, free pancakes and free coffee. I'm down for that. As the two of us ate pancakes, we livened the mood with some chit-chat about what was on TV, celebrities, that kind of thing. Hobbies, food. Really nothing more than idle chit-chat, talking together like as I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichi, my Vara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there's anything different between them, it's only whether or not Mion admits she's Mion. Given that, how come our conversation is this different? Kie-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you? That's not true. If she were a guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her. I think the reason you guys get along so well is because you have that kind of platonic relationship. That's a pretty rare and enviable thing to have, don't you think? I don't get what you're saying, but it really would be a waste to treat her like a girl. Hey, Kie-chan, that's sexist. Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. What was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend a guy could have, no reservations, and head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I'd met her 5 years earlier, my life would have been a lot more fun. Of this, I had no doubt. It would be fun. But what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister and hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was, well, I knew her sister. As for Shion, it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago only because I was a friend of her sister's. Dude, like, we got our asses saved. It's still so creepy. But there's been nothing, like, too out of the ordinary other than that in this route or this story. Which means we can just sit back and enjoy it. I'm liking this. Today I really needed to relax and do something with no pressure. And this is great. The only pressure has been our character's own stupidity, and it wasn't even that bad. It was like a couple thugs we got saved from. Shion white knighted for us, protecting us, because we're definitely not up to the task of beating up 3 gangsters. Alright. Yeah, Shion's the same. It was somebody we met 3 days ago, only because I was a friend of her sister's. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity? Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I'd stopped listening to Shion. Hypothetically, okay? Are you listening? Sorry. Yeah, I'm listening. It's just a hypothetical question, okay? Both me and my sister are in trouble, alright? We're dangling off the side of a cliff. Which of us do you save? You can only save one. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice. Alright. You have to save one personality. Mion or Shion? I mean, if I assume they're separate people, I'm afraid I might have to go with Shion. That's not a nice question. I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right? Right. You can save either Shion or Mion. Who do you save? For Mion, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place. It's something she could easily get out of herself. What about the normal, frail Shion? I guess I'd have no choice. It's not my sister, right? If Mion and Shion are different people, I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine. In other words, that's it, isn't it? My sister is... Sorry, I messed up what I was trying to say. Shion was trying to talk in a lighthearted manner, but I felt there was something more behind her words. Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on what it was vexing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around. But more importantly just now, were you surprised when everyone kept on showing up? Of course I was, dude. If it was Reina or Satoko, that'd be one thing, but all those people, young and old, they're all from Hinamizawa, right? Yeah, that's right. Everyone in Hinamizawa is pretty close-knit. And enemy of one is the enemy of all. Nobody's gonna look on from the sidelines. They're a pretty reliable group of residents. If somebody's being picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of the bully. It kind of sounds like the Mafia or Yakuza's brand of unity. You should say something like that. It's something you should be thankful for. Are they all like, they're all part of the cult, right? They're all part of the cult, probably? You were saved by that unity, weren't you? Never forget to show your appreciation. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative. But how do we show our appreciation to the rest of the people? Everyone really is close-knit, aren't they? Maybe it's because of tradition. Hinamizawa has been in danger of becoming a ghost town on several occasions. There's a bit of history of the villagers uniting each time to fight for the village's continued existence. For example, Kei-chan, did you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project? Well, in this, we do, right? We do, right? Let's see, I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before. 10 years ago, there was a proposal to build a dam here which would have submerged Hinamizawa, right? That story, I think I heard my dad talk about it. Didn't you read about it in the paper at this point? Is this a different timeline and not just a different story? This might be a different timeline and not just a side story. I'm pretty sure that plane was cancelled, right? We made them cancel it. Everybody band together. So that was a well-earned victory. That sounded pretty much like the story I heard. The protest intensified to the point where it was featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plane was suspended. Also, you know, the whole story with the dam apparently started before I was born. At first, the proposal was only for exploratory purposes, or a small dam to control erosion. Okay, fair enough. And ensure consistency during the wet season versus the dry season. Yeah, makes sense. Do they have wet and dry seasons in Japan? I assume so. And then the cat was let out of the bag. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. It's a big dam project. Why not? The protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet. They even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. The previous landowner sued the government, stating there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners to stifle the project. It was all very precious when land acquisition was still about money. Eventually they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize the land. It started at that point. The riot police began to get violent. Riot police? You mean the police? Why would they act violent? They punched, they kicked. There was a time I was hit. Right around here, I think. My skin split open and a whole lot of blood spilled out. Saying that, Shion indicated her temple by poking at it. What happened to the police? Finally, a complaint against the police for police brutality seems kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they don't pay heed to things like that. Who wouldn't be able to establish proof on who hit you, and they would just justify their actions by saying you were interfering with police duties. My Nana went off like a firework. After that, it was amazing, like a full-scale war. We weren't just going to sit idly by and file complaints. We went on the offensive. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. In order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state Hinamizawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, stating that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamizawa, a ferocious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. You got it? The Dam War has. In order to... every time, damn. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing citizens and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit or the government finally decided against it. It was announced the dam project was indefinitely suspended a few years ago. We did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought. Man, you know, it really sucks when, like, a government tries to do, like, a mega project or do something really cool that would help fix their infrastructure problems, and then, like, citizens shit on it. Or, like, something that would fix actual problems. It's actually, like, super annoying. I recall, cause like, even these days, a lot of people I see, like, joke about how hypocritical a lot of Christians are, and I mean that can be true to some point, right? There's lots of mega churches, but I thought it was kind of funny that the church my parents went to, they tried to open a homeless shelter in their basement, and they're paying for this, and like literally every single person around them immediately complained that they would lower the land value. It's like they have to go to court to fight to like have an actual charity in their church. I thought it was kind of funny. It's like people really like shutting down anything productive all the time. Super annoying. I imagine it's super annoying for the government, and like if you think about it from like an outsider perspective, you're like, wow, it's congratulations, you stopped something you didn't like happening from happening, but you're like, on the other hand, that could have been really good for a lot more people. It's like, wouldn't it be great if like everyone had to pay, everyone had to pay their taxes and we didn't have tax loopholes for companies? But on the other hand, from that person's perspective, they're like, fuck yeah, I got a way to. On the other hand, that person's like, fuck yeah, the government didn't steal my money or some shit, and you're like great. Or like when Native Americans like block land purchases, or like riot about like infrastructure projects going through their lands, and it's like come on, really, like everyone else in the country is like, well, I guess we're either selling or getting eminented, and the project's going through, but you guys gotta ruin like every major infrastructure project. It's just like, sure, you can be proud you stopped it, but like on the other hand, I don't know if it's always a great idea to just be like, yeah, I didn't lose my home, I didn't like have to sell out. It's like, yeah, but like it would be really good for the it could be really good for the country. I don't know. Like, it's a nice story, but like from a third person perspective, it just doesn't always sound right. It's like, you can say the story however you like it, but it always makes me think, it's like, is that really like the best result? Like, okay, so like, let's say they relocate the dam project and they hit like another city, make more people move for less electrical power, and it's like costs more money. Is that really better? Is that really a better result? Like, is this a better result? Or if you make like a government infrastructure project go massively over budget because you're gonna stall it for like 3 months, like, do you have any right to complain about the government spending money inefficiently when they have to deal with that? It's like, well, maybe not. Like, yeah, they're over budget, but I mean, they're over budget due to protests, so can people complain about the government not spending money efficiently? Like, they have to get the land somewhere. It's like if they want a dam project, they probably have a reason to want it. Either they probably want it for the power, and they possibly want it for the water, consistent water reserves. So it seems like they'd probably need to build it at some point. It just might be like a matter of a few miles. And then they should probably still build it. Alright, we did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought, and at that time we were desperate. But now that it's over, it's actually become a pretty good memory. The villagers' feelings of solidarity and unity still haven't faded. Shion said that as she focused off into the distance. I felt those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride. That kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see it too often, bridging the generation gap, unifying the region. I think so too. The damn project was a trial. I think that was just a fact. Just the fact we were able to overcome is huge. The fear I was feeling till now gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening. But now I felt from the bottom of my heart I'd been rude. The villagers prepared to defend their homeland to the death. A sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I'm a little jealous. If I'd been in Hinamizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity. Okay, Chan, you weren't there at the time, so I don't think you can fully feel the solidarity in the village. But everybody shares it. Thoroughly. Even with somebody who just moved here like you, K-chan. She couldn't have been more right. I mean, they all showed up, right? Didn't question it. So many people got together to help me out when I just moved here, even though they were strangers whose names I didn't even know. A hot feeling began welling up inside me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural. But here, that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Amusingly enough, we've never actually met, or at least, I think we met one of his neighbors, but we've never actually learned the name of his neighbors. Funny. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings, and they gradually welled up inside me. Tonozaki-san, the manager wants you to work the floor. A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out Shion. It seemed like it was time for work. Okay, I'm coming. Sorry. Looks like I have to get to work now. It's fine. Thanks for hanging out with me. It was fun. Oh, are you going home? Yeah. My mom gets fussy if I'm not home by dinner. It seems Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like we hadn't talked enough. That kind of feeling. Looking at the expression, I regretted saying something that had disappointed Mion like that. I was about to say I could stay for a bit longer when Shion got up from her seat. Here. If you use the coupon, it should cover the pancakes as well. Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me. Convenient, isn't it? It's a perk I get on top of my salary. It's okay. I can pay for the pancakes myself. Hey, being so reserved doesn't fit you, K-chan. If I were my sister, you would have gladly let me pay for it. She said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told so with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me. Sonozaki-san, sorry, could you take care of the register? Yes, right away. Later, today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled one more time at me. Oh, Mion, thanks for a lot today. I owe you one. If you really think that, return the favor. I'm looking forward to it. And after I said it, I realized I mistakenly called her Mion. I didn't know if she realized it or not. Shion is the best Mion. That's fair. That's fair. Shion is the best Mion. That was fun. A nice relaxing conversation with Mion. Or Shion. I mean, our character's calling her Mion still, so am I really saying that wrong? Lazing around and watching TV after dinner was part of my daily routine. It might seem like a waste at first, but you could say it was an important part of time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. After dinner was valuable time, well spent while the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients. You idiot. It's obvious Tokyo Tower is taller. Oh. Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show. Sitting in front of the television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right. If I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably. Yeah, pressure can mess with you a bunch. That's fair. Keishi, phone call from Sonozaki-san. Okay. Sonozaki? That's Mion. It was a little late for her to be calling. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. She was probably going to inform me what we were going to do tomorrow. This was Mion we're talking about, right? She might even go so far as to say we're doing club activities right now, so hurry up and come on over. It's like, I just imagine that it's like midnight and she's like, club activities, you better be here in 5 minutes. By the way, it was 8 p.m. Okay, it's not that late. Hello? No way we're having a club battle right now. That's not it. I mean, it was Mion, but it was a very un-Mion-like way of talking. Could it be? Sorry, could it be you're not Mion, but Shion? That's right. Good evening. Sorry for calling so late. For Mion, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking. But since it was Shion, it was quite natural. Even though they were both the same person. With a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling. How does she know our phone number? Asked her sister. Wouldn't it be weird? Wouldn't it be... Well, I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't be weird. I feel like it would be weird, though. Like, if I asked my brother, like, what his friend's phone number was, he'd be like, what? Why? Whereas, like, it's like, alright. Somehow she just calls us up thinking it's fine. Without ever asking for a number. No, it's fine. What's up? Kei-chan, do you like sweets? Like cakes or desserts? There's no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton. Delicious. That's great. Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer. Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season. They were hiring taste testers for potential desserts. The desserts at Angel Mort have a good reputation. It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester. I'll get right to the point. Ta-da! You say ta-da, but I can't see over the phone. Could it be? That's right. I have a taste testing ticket right here. If you don't mind sweets, how about it? When you say how about it, you basically mean, with that ticket, I can eat all the new desserts I want? They say beware of honey pots, but this is sweeter than any pot of honey. And all you can eat free dessert? Pass? Yeah, damn, that's right. If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester. When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your name. Everything will work out. When you say everything, you mean all you can eat? For free? Yeah, it's free. There's quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. This was such a delectable opportunity. It was almost scary. Dude, getting to taste a dessert menu from a restaurant for free? That'd be delicious. And also exhausting. I hope you want to try like 6 desserts or you're willing to like only sample like all of them with like 2 bites. This really was Shion, right? It's not Mion posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, right? Wait, what am I saying? They're the same person. Yeah. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kei-chan. You're thinking, this is too good to be true, right? Right? I mean, I'd never... I heard from my sister, but you're really someone who can't tell a lie. I'm not adverse to someone like that. She laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would laugh. It's not like I was intending on it. It just so happens my shift ends early tomorrow. If it's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together after I'm done. We're going to be hanging with Shion. We're getting asked out by Shion. Your shift ends early tomorrow? Yeah. So why don't you take your time eating dessert? I'll finish up. I didn't have any plans anyway. I don't mind hanging with you for a bit. It's not like we have to go anywhere. I was thinking we could cool off in the evening while we take a walk. There's no reason for me to refuse. Yeah, go for it, Keiichi. Come on. Out of courtesy, I may as well take her up on her offer. You're signing up for a date. Are you thinking about this? Like, by the way, Keiichi, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we? Now you said, I guess we have. Since you said okay, we have an excuse to meet again tomorrow. What was Mion saying? Kei-chan, your voice just cracked. What's the matter? What's the matter? It wasn't a video phone, but she could tell I was beet red. Well then, you should definitely come tomorrow. I'll take my leave here. Good night. Good night. Shion, finished with what she had called to say, ended the conversation without chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging up the phone, the TV was already off and my mom was sleeping in the rocking chair. Not feeling like turning it back on, I went upstairs and returned to my room. We got a date with Shion. I've only been receiving favors from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento, saved me when I got involved with those thugs. She was supposed to be a different person so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, she'd probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. I have to thank Shion directly. Tomorrow I'll have to repay her somehow. We need to give her something. Save her some treats, maybe? No, that sounds a little bit lame. She works there. Bring some candy, maybe? No. What would this kid do? I'm trying to think of things like that he could do. Like, new tip, details of the delinquent 3. Okay, new tip. At the end of a chapter, details of the delinquent 3. Just why you arrested us? Bullshit, let go of me! Kuma-chan, you can let go of their arms now. Here, please, sit down. 3 people rub their arms painfully. Kumatani-kun and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tightly. Don't get me wrong, I haven't arrested you or anything. Kuma-chan, go get me something cold from the fridge, please. Would you like your barley with foam or without? They plunked down off the reception sofa, and despite not yelling anymore, they still had dangerous expressions. Ah, what I'd give to be young again. I'll drink even if you don't, you know. Excuse me for helping myself. Beer is best when you drink it on the job. As he downed the beer with glee, the 3 people exchanged glasses, then finally reached for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened their cans and began to drink the contents. Did he ask them if they wanted barley? Hold up, I want to go back and read that. Give me something cold from the fridge. Would you like your barley with foam or without? I've never heard to someone call a beer a barley, but alright. Maybe it's 80s slang that I didn't know. So, where'd you guys come from? You're not from around here. They looked at each other, suspicious of whether they should tell him. You all college students? Friends on a trip? You're probably traveling on bikes or something. Sounds like fun. I wish I was having. You don't live close by, do you? Where'd you come from? Osaka, perhaps? Osaka, perhaps? What's the matter to you? I know, there's no use trying to intimidate me. You'd have all been in a lot of trouble if I'd left you there, right? They seemed to recall the thrilling event from earlier. Well, they could understand being surrounded by students, a gang, or something along those lines. They would never have been surrounded by locals, both young and old, men and women before. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been. If you're from here, the people of Hinamizawa wouldn't have done anything to you, no matter what you'd done wrong. They're all special. Not in the sense of parents not wanting to get involved with the children fights. If one person gets bullied, the village comes out in full force, though. It's not an idle threat, you know. They couldn't argue against that. They themselves have been surrounded. They saw it with their own eyes. There's no doubt about it. Around these parts, if the people of Hinamizawa give you a glare like that, you'll simply get demoned away and no one will hear from you again. You'll suddenly disappear without a trace. Do you all have families that would get the police to search for you if you went missing? If not, then that's bad. You'll vanish, and that'll be the end of that. Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, things could have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alleyway, these young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. Might be lying on the autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway, perhaps they'd be a little more cooperative if we found them as corpses. How'd y'all get to Okinomiya? By train? By bike? Bike. That's not good. They're still parked there, aren't they? If you go waltzing in to get them back, they might really gang up on you. The hell's that? We'll take them all. Calm down, calm down. How are young people these days so quick with the shouting? You don't want any more trouble, right? Tell me the bike license plate numbers. I'll bring them up here for you. Kuma-chan, please borrow the loading truck we use for traffic disasters. Got it. It's fine, it's fine. We'll get them ourselves. Do you really want to get surrounded again? The police may not be fast enough to save you this time. It's fine, isn't it? If we're surrounded, they're gonna get knocked out. Hey, you 3? You're drinking the barley with foam, right? Try turning your engines on. I'll arrest you on the spot for drunk driving. Nice call. Nice call, actually. He's like, I'm sorry, you can't go get your bikes. You're drinking beers. Sucks, man. Oh, a drink. I like this. I like that plan, Uishi. That's fucking dirty. Your tax dollars will be put to good use in bringing all your bikes back here. Now quit complaining and tell me the goddamn license plate numbers, you piece of shit. The 3 were hesitant to tell him the numbers. They were mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they just bought the bikes. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, Mion, go with the truck and bring the bikes back. Get the tough-looking red Yamaha, the one with the broken taillight, and the white one that had the packing tape stuck to the seat. It's those ones. They belong to you, right? He didn't answer. Those must be the right ones. Uishi-san, the truck's here. I'll get going. Please do. Wait, Kuma, hold on. One more thing. What's up? Look up the numbers. You don't want to bring the wrong ones back. The three people's faces changed color. They made themselves very easy to understand. Let's take it easy here until the bikes get back. There's more beer, you know. We have some snacks, too. Want to watch TV? There's probably nothing on, though. Thanks. We're leaving. Don't want to hang here forever. Suddenly, there were 5 or 6 huge office running. Oh man, did they steal the bikes, too? They stole the motorcycles. Damn, they're in trouble. They're clearly overpowering stairs nailed into the sofa. At first, you thought they were just thugs. You know, they're the usual bikers riding their motorcycles around. Turns out they probably stole the motorcycles, too. What did we do? Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days, too much time on their hands. Well, today we learned the delinquents were in fact all guilty. Wait, is it still Grand Theft Auto if you steal a motorcycle? Probably, right? It's probably still GTA. Nice. Nice catch. Uishi got them. It turns out they're actually bad dudes, and that was like the loudest virtual clicking sound I've heard in a while. Can I hear that again? Like, there's like a half-second delay on it, too. Yeah. Yeah, it actually plays the clicking sound after I click. Interesting. Alright. Well, this has been fun. But I think we'll have to continue the next chapter and see just what happens next. The next time we play some Higurashi.